Welcome class, lesson 7-9. Today, strong mathematicians can recognize equivalent tenths and hundredths and model decimal numbers in tenths and hundredths. Take out your notebook, your pencil, write down today's date, the name of the lesson, and we're going to swan dive into the unit. As you know about numerators and denominators, keeping those in our head. Yesterday we talked about money and how money can help us understand decimals better because of the sense that we use money frequently through our lives. That a penny is, as we say, the important part. So we have this out. A penny is 1/100th, or 0.01 is a decimal, and a dime is 1/10, or 0.1 of the money of a dime. So now decimal numbers, here's some notes I want you to write down to help us out. What is a decimal number? It's a representation of a number using the numerals 0 to 9, in which each digit has a value 10 times the digit to its right. A dot or a decimal point separates the whole number part of the decimal on the left from the fractional part on the right. So some examples, notice a decimal number 1.23 and 0.3 are both decimal numbers, and we also see it a lot when we think about money. $8.59. That decimal separates the dollars from the cents or part of the dollar. Where's the decimal point? The decimal point is a symbol used to separate dollars and cents in money amounts or to separate ones and tenths in decimal numbers. So there's our decimal point specifically. It separates right there. There's our dollars right here. Here's our cents on this side. Or if you look at this one, these are our whole numbers. And these are our tenths, which would start with the 2 would be in the tenths place value. But as we move over, just like we did in the whole numbers, each place value over is 10 times the value. So you can pause the video, write down these vocabulary words to help you out. Some more vocabulary words that we want to have. What is a tenth? A tenth is a unit fraction representing one of 10 equal parts of a whole, written as 0.1 or 1/10. A hundredth is a unit fraction representing one of 100 parts, written as 0.01 or 1/100 for 1/100th. And thousandth, a unit fraction representing one of 1,000 parts, written as 0.001 or 1/1000 for 1,000ths. So that's some fun words to say, adding those THs to the end of them. So write down these words so you can keep track of what is a tenth, hundredth, and thousandth. Sound very familiar as tens, hundreds, and thousands in the whole number. But these end all with that TH ending. So right now we're going to write the fraction and the decimal of the letters on the number line / bar. So we can see how they correlate to each other. We notice right here that 10/100ths equals 0.10. 30/100ths equals 0.30. Because why 30? It's 30 parts of a whole, so 0.30. So if we look at our A, what would our A be right here? We kind of start to realize these numbers. Here's 40. This one's going to be, we could count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more. That would give us 50 hundredths, or 0.50. And if you notice, these are a little darker shaded lines, so we know we don't have to count, but there's 10 between them as well, which would give me 60 hundredths, or 0.60. 70 hundredths, or 0.70. 80 hundredths, we're coming down the final stretch, or 0.80. And E, last but not least, we'll use yellow because I don't like it, but I'm going to anyways, 91 hundredths, or 0.90. And notice when we get to a whole, we have 100 over 100, or we just have 1.00. Notice there's a whole, and there's nothing in our tenths or hundredths place value. So you can write down this model of examples, kind of separating out to show you how the numbers keep going up and how the decimals, more importantly, how these two numbers relate to each other is probably the more important thing as well. And now we're going to write these numbers in decimal form. So sometimes what I like to do is when I write these out, I kind of like to start as fractions first because I feel I have an easier job of writing them out as fractions. So I'm going to start on this side. 84 hundredths. Well, 100 would be a whole, so I put a 0 here, and I have 84 of them, so I would put 84 hundredths. Like I would have 84 pennies, that would have 84 cents. And I can put a 0 here. I don't necessarily need one, but it makes it easier to separate the whole number from the fraction part, because we know 84 hundredths is a fraction of a whole. 2 tenths would mean like I would have 2 dimes in my pocket. So 2 tenths. My tenths place value is the first one after the decimal, so that would be tenths, and a 0 in front would be 2 tenths. One of the common ones that usually throw people off is something that looks like this, 9 hundredths, because what people want to do is they see the 9, so they want to put a dot, and they want to put a 9 right away. But that's not correct, because that wouldn't be 9. This would actually be 90 hundredths, which is not the same as 9 hundredths. So it's really important what we do here is with 9 hundredths, we got to put a think of it as you have 9 pennies, which means I don't have 10 pennies, so it'd be a 0 in the tenths place, but I would have 9 pennies because I have 9 cents, and I put the 0 right there. So I like using fractions first to go to decimals because we've kind of seen those before in our examples, kind of practice those out. With word problems, 7 tenths, what I would do first is I would write a fraction first. Well, 7 tenths looks like this. Okay, now I see the fraction. Oh, 7 tenths. It looks very similar to that one of 2 tenths. So it'd be 0.7. It's like having 7 dimes. And that's my tenths place value. 4 hundredths. So 4 hundredths. So if I put 4 and hundredths would be over 100, that would be what my number looks like. That reminds me of this problem right here that we just wrote down. So that would be 0.04. Because it's like I would have 4 pennies, and 4 pennies is worth 4 cents, and that is how we would write 4 cents. Last but not least, we got 59 hundredths, so 59 would be my numerator, 1 hundredths would be my denominator, and now it looks very similar to this problem right here. I got 2 place values, so I put 0.59, because I have no wholes, so I have 5 tenths and 9 hundredths, so 59 hundredths. So you can pause the video now, write down these examples to help you out as you move through today's lesson. There we go. In the little town of Two Creeks, there are 100 people. 6 are left-handed. All right, good to know. What decimal number shows the fraction of people who are left-handed? It says 6 are left-handed. There are 100 people. So what does that mean as a decimal number? So I have decimal number first of the fraction who are left-handed. So first off, I know that there are 6 people who are left-handed over 100 people that live in the city. So now how do I write that? It would be like 6 hundredths. Or I think of like I would have 6 pennies. So my decimal number would be 0.06. People are left-handed. Not a lot of left-handed people. Are you one of those lucky ones? Do you live in Two Creeks? All good questions. What decimal number shows the fraction of people who are right-handed? Well, if 6 out of 100 are left-handed, the rest of them have to be right-handed, which would mean 6 plus what would equal 100. So I'd have 6 hundredths plus something, we don't know that yet, would equal 100. 100s because every person has to be accounted for. Well, we know our denominators have to be the same to add them. So 100, 6 plus what equals 100? Well, if I do 100 minus 6, I can cross this one off, make this a 10. Cross this off, make it a 9, make this a 10. So I got 4, 94. So 94 100ths of the people are right-handed, but they want me to write it as a decimal number. So I would have 0.94 people of the village are right-handed in the town of Two Creeks. And there you go. So you can pause this right now. You can write down these numbers and how we solve those to get our information. Here's one more word problem for you. There are 10 children playing water polo, and 7 of them are boys. What decimal number shows the fraction of people who are boys? So we look, we see we have 10 children playing, so that's going to be our denominator. And who are boys? Well, 7 of them are boys, so I put 7 right here. 7/10 equals, it's like having 7 dimes, 0.7. Which would now say, what decimal number shows the number of people who are girls? Well, we do that same type of thing where we had 7 over 10 were boys, plus some over 10 are girls, equals 10 over 10. You can probably guess what that missing number is right there. 7 plus what equals 10? You got it, 3. So we know our fraction would be 3/10. So our number would be 0.3 of the people are girls. So you can pause this now to help you on your problems. And here you go, and draw a nice line. Put box 3, now your turn. I'll write these numbers in decimal form. Make sure you also write out the problem 6/10 equals, and then show me what it equals, just not a number, because I don't know what that number is connected to. The same as 8/100 equals what? 39/100 equals what? And then your fraction, 72/100 equals, 3/10 equals, 6/100 equals. So that whole sentence, so from the start to the end, that way we can see the entire thing and how it's connected. Here's a little town of Tisch Mills. Some more people. Some are left-handed. What people are left-handed? What decimal number shows a fraction of people who are right-handed? And now children are playing ice hockey, and 4 of them are boys. What decimal shows the fraction of people who are boys? What decimal number shows the fraction of people who are girls? So you can pause the video, solve these last couple of problems, and good luck. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to write them down or share them out. If you have any strategies that you use to help you, make sure you include those as well. And thanks again for another great lesson.